a fun one-block quilt that's easy to break the rules with?
Our free pattern, Chevron.
Hi, it's Donna Robertson.
And Fran Morgan with Fabric Café.
I love a good one-block quilt. Once you get that first block made, the quilts are super fast and easy to make.
We've got a great one block to share with you today. Plus, we're going to show you how you can break the rules by changing around the fabric.
And what's even better, you can get it free for a limited time.
Let's go check out the quilt. Now, a chevron pattern is a very easy quilt to put together. Very easy to do. It's one block. That one block is simply a half square triangle right here. And those half square triangles are a really nice size, so they're going to go together really fast. All we've done is just turn them and put them together to make this really cool chevron pattern on the surface of the quilt. And I love this pattern. It really kind of goes together great. And we have a nice wide border. Now this wide border is a perfect place to show off a beautiful fabric that you have, as well as in the chevron print there. Now, let's put it on the table, and I want to show you how to make this and some easy ways to spice up the fabric placement. I love it whenever you've got a really simple quilt to put together and it doesn't take a lot of thinking power, you know what I mean? Because every once in a while you need one of those.
Absolutely.
And this is one of those. I love it. All right, we have our block here. Now, this is a really nice size half square triangle. You're going to make this over and over again.
Talk about getting in the zone.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it really makes it simple. And really, there's not that many of them to put this quilt together because they're so large, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is we're going to rotate these around. And it's how you turn these and match them up that makes the difference. So we're going to start with one of our rows here, and we're going to put 3 together. Okay, let's see, I'm going to turn it this way. So you can see here we're starting to create this kind of little chevron pattern here. That will be one row like that, but then whenever you do your second row, it really starts showing up, which is very, very cool. I really like it. So this one, it'll be like this.
It's like magic.
And then, and you see these are all just half square triangles, all the same size. So there's not a lot of thinking going on here.
Right.
You just have to make sure you get them turned the right way. And then let's put one more on here. And you can see that you're going to build this row and then this row. And when you put them together, it creates that really fun chevron movement that'll be all over the surface of the quilt.
I really like it.
It's fun, and I'm serious, I just love it whenever you've got a quilt. You know, sometimes you're either a beginner quilter, you need something pretty simple to get started, but sometimes you've been quilting forever and working on a really big project and you just need a break that you don't have to think about. This is a great pattern for that. All right, so this is kind of how our center goes together. Then we're gonna have our border piece here, once you have your center together. And I like that the border is nice and wide on this quilt because it's going to be a great place to show off some gorgeous fabric or just a texture like this to really frame it beautifully.
Well, you know, the other thing is this is one of those that has a whole busy center. I mean, there's a lot of motion going on. And this will be kind of the grounding and stopping the flow.
It's
on
gorgeous.
The
I love it. All right, let's look at all of this fun fabric.
All right.
Let's talk about that famous Fabric Café fabric strategy that we use.
All right.
This is the strategy that we use on all of our quilts, and if you stick to this strategy, you're going to be successful every single time you put your fabrics in your quilts, which really makes it easy. The first thing you're going to do is pick out your focus fabric. Now, your focus fabric is the #1 fabric in the #1 position of your quilt. It's usually your largest print, and it can go light or dark. Either way, it does not matter.
It's the extrovert.
It's the extrovert, yes. It's the host of the party here. It is the one that sets the tone of the quilt, your favorite fabric that you love. And here we have this great, you know, like watercolor rings on here, and it's gonna go on the quilt everywhere you see it here. Now, it's very important on this particular quilt that you use a tossed fabric and not a directional fabric. Because remember how when we were showing you your half square triangles, they get turned and rotated? So if you had a directional fabric, it wouldn't work so well. They would all get turned. After we've chosen our focus fabric, we're going to take it out of the equation and we're going to choose a fabric 2 and 3. We're going to compare these two fabrics. Our lightest fabric is going to be our number 2 fabric, and our darkest fabric of the 2 remaining is our number 3 fabric. So let's look at our number 2 fabric. Here we have a really soft texture with a little bit of mint green and gray in it. It does coordinate very well with our focus fabric. We kind of took some influence from our focus fabric to choose our number 2, picking up that just little bit of green. So, but it's very faint and it's going to work perfectly. This is our background color. Remember, it's our lightest. So it's going to go here in this spot. So it's our other half of our half square triangle.
Right.
So for our number 3 fabric, we went with the darkest of the greens. We've got a beautiful jade here. This is also a texture. Our number 3 fabric is our punch, our pow, our shazam, our anchor. It's really pop in our quilt.
We also quite often mention, if you have trouble thinking, well, what do I want my number 3? If you'll look at your number 1 fabric and pick out one of the darker colors that are sort of prominent, because that's part of what ties it together while it's popping.
Yeah. So we're pulling out the lightest color and we're pulling out the darkest color for our number 3, which works perfect. In this case, we have this beautiful jade green on our border, nice wide border, so it frames it all so beautifully. And I really think this goes together well. And I love that our number 2 and 3 have a little bit of texture, so they're not just boring and flat.
Right.
It's very important to me. It is called Mint Mirage, and it is our chevron pattern, which is currently free.
Now the next kit has this gorgeous, kind of a vintage looking flower. I really like it. And the rustic floral is the perfect size for this quilt because it just has a scale that's going to look great in those half square triangles.
Yes, and it is a toss print, so that's going to work.
Love the butterflies.
Love the butterflies. You're going to get just little bits and pieces of all that floral in there.
Right,
So
and
good.
the bee. It'll look like an English garden.
It will.
Yeah, the number 1 fabric goes everywhere you see here. Okay, our number 2 fabric, we wanted to put something warm and interesting in there, so we picked this cream that has a floral and a swirl that almost looks like it's been tooled leather.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so that's going to go everywhere that you see here. And you can tell there's that nice high contrast between those 2 fabrics. But there's a little gold in the number 1 fabric or the focal fabric, in the butterfly leaves, the bee bodies. So that's a great way to put your contrast, but still have it coordinated with the other fabrics. And then our number 3, we kept it very simple and sweet. The print on this one is just a little tiny dot.
It's so nice together.
Yeah, it is very sweet. And I love the way it picks up the coral and the flowers.
Perfect colors.
Now the number 3 fabric is going to be this great border. I love that big border. And it's going to really frame it where you can see that peachy color blending so pretty with that.
So good together.
I like it.
I really do too.
You know, that bold border with that kind of a peachy apricot color really does bring out the floral.
It does. It's such a pretty apricot color. I really love that. And I love the way the floral sprinkled beautifully and balanced in all of that chevron. I think it's perfect. And the nice blue color on the background of the floral is perfect.
That's just the sky showing through the flowers in our garden.
Yes. And it's so warm with that number 2, that creamy number 2 is just so good.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you know the great thing about 3-yard quilts is that you can move the fabric around. Each fabric position only takes 1 yard, and so you could swap those yards around if you want to.
You can.
Yeah, like the number 1 fabric could go out on the border, it could go in number 2, and you can do that as long as you always cut everything that the pattern says to do from that position. Now, let's see what it looks like if we change our fabric around.
Oh,
just to be
wow.
something, wow, it just makes it look like, oh, I made a different quilt.
So we've swapped the 1 and the 3. So now the fabric that was the fabric number 1 is now the fabric number 3 position, which was the border. And that is really cool. It works so well.
you can play with your fabric. You have permission.
Yeah, and it's really hard. I don't know which one I like better.
That is hard, yeah. But it is interesting, and you can see how your eye will travel through the quilt in different ways. And that really does show you how your eyes are kind of creating the art for you.
Yes, very fun, very cool.
Now, the kit information on this is Farmstead Florals.
Now, our next fabric kit is so much fun. It makes me think of being a little girl. Because, you know, the very first thing I learned to do when I was little was crochet.
Yep.
And my brother and I used to have these big, used to buy us Aunt Lydia's rug
yarn.
And we'd roll it up into balls, and then we'd make long chains, and then we'd take it out, and then we'd make something else or another long chain, and we just kept doing that.
Do you remember when you played the game where one of you would then roll it up in a ball and you'd walk through the house and the other one had to roll it up from the other end? Boy, I tell you what, I indoctrinated them in doing anything with yarn or fabric.
Yeah. So yarn really was our first creative medium.
Yes, it was.
And this is what a great tribute to that.
That is.
So we have all of these different colors of yarn balls, I guess is what it would be, on a blue background. Very fun. And that is our focus fabric, so it's going to go everywhere you see the green here. And then for our number 2, we paired it with a really fun white with a black polka dot. And this just kind of keeps the charm of the concept of the yarn with knitting, crocheting, that kind of thing. And of course, it'll go where this cream is on this quilt, and I love the way the black ties it together.
I do too, yeah.
Very
That's a good continuity between the black balls of yarn and the dots.
Yes, and then to keep the black theme, we've put it with a really textural black that it kind of goes dark gray all the way to black just to give it some interest. And that ties it all together with that black. That is going to be on our border here, which I think is really going to help frame it and highlight that chevron piecing that we're doing here. I love this.
That's fun.
It's so fun. And I really love the polka dots in the number 2. I think it just adds such a charming sweetness to it. And, you know, all of us with that crochet and knitting in the background in our past this just kind of speaks to me.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And it also would make a great gift for a friend who doesn't quilt, but they knit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And guys, let us know, did you crochet or knit before you quilted? Because I know I did. What was your first creative love there? Was it quilting, or was it crochet? Was it knitting? Was it needlepoint? Was it something else?
Or is yes the answer to all those questions?
Maybe.
I used to jokingly say that if it required a needle, I wanted to be a part of it because I loved all of every one of those that you named.
Yeah, very fun.
Now remember, our free pattern changes every few months, so be sure to get it while it's here. You can download it for free at fabriccafe.com under the free goodies tab.
And let's be sure and do that because this is a fun pattern. Let me get you the kit info on this too. This is called Ball of Fun.
We have some gorgeous poinsettias to show. I love poinsettias.
Yes.
And they are very traditional, which I really like. And the pattern is a little more modern, so it's going to be interesting to see how it looks.
Yeah.
And they're a good size for those half square triangles.
They are.
And then we added a little more spice with the number 2. It's berries on a cream background and just a little bit of green that'll pick up the holly green in the poinsettia's background. And I think that's going to be great here. So in this particular case, we're really showing you 2 prints side by side, making those half square triangles.
But it works because one's on a black, one's on a white, one's a larger scale, one's a smaller scale. So they're going to keep the contrast.
That's right.
Perfect.
And then in this particular quilt, we feel like that you just need a good grounding color because this is going to be kind of busy with the 2
together.
So that red, and I love that linen look.
It does. It kind of keeps that organic feel.
And I just think it's a great one because our eye will pick up that texture, and it's going to be out here in our border. So it's going to be a good frame for this quilt. That's really interesting how that number 2 goes to the background, and you can see that texture going on, and it really complements that number 1 fabric.
It does. And I think you're right that the focus fabric is the perfect scale for that half square triangle, creating that chevron line. And you can really see lots of poinsettias. And the border really brings it together because it makes your eye focus on the red, which I
Yeah.
really, really like.
Well, in the number one fabric, that poinsettia really is the dominant color, and so it's working perfectly.
It's awesome.
So let's see what it looks like if we put the poinsettia on the border. That's always fun. Oh, wow. It really does make your frame really stand out. It really draws your eye to the border.
And you know what I like is because the number 2 fabric still has a print on it, it gives it some depth still so that the texture is there, even though the red has some texture too. It's not as dominant as the number 2 texture. But I like the combination of the red and the number 2 there, the number 3 and number 2 fabrics in the center.
Which one do you like better? Tell us in the
know.
comments, because we like to get your opinion too, because y'all inspire us all the time.
Absolutely.
So please let us know. This kit is called Yuletide Blooms.
Now I think this is a fun print, and it's a little bit different for something for fall.
Yeah,
which
it
I
is.
like. We have some pumpkins here. They're on a pink background, but I love these oranges on this pink background. They go so well together.
I think it's more of it's like a real pale pumpkin.
Very
I've actually
pale.
seen pumpkins that color.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, well, they are making them all different colors now.
They are, aren't they? But it also has a little daisy flower on here.
Sweet.
And all the little green leaves. I think the green adds a little spark of that little interest that it needs. But I like the combination of the colors and the flowers and the pumpkins. I think it's really cool.
It's a beautiful pumpkin patch.
It is. And it's the perfect size print for our chevron pattern for our half square triangles. So that is going to be where our focus fabric is here, where the green is. And then we've paired it with a number 2 that is a tone on tone. And it's a nice warm white, and it has a little daisy flower on it so that it picks up our daisies in our
That's a
pumpkin
sweet
patch.
thing.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, it picks up the white too. So the white will be everywhere you see the texture on this one, this white here. And then because we went so simple with our number 2 fabric, we wanted to kind of jazz it up just a little with our number 3 fabric and do an orange with a white polka dot. We're keeping that white all the way through the quilt for that continuity. And I love the way the oranges, this is orange, the oranges go together. I really think it's fun. And that is going to be on the border and give us just that little bit of personality on the border, which I think is
I think it's going to be fun because it's fun like that focus fabric.
Yes, love the pumpkin in the chevron.
I do too.
I just think it's great. It's got great texture and movement, and it's a little bit different twist on a fall fabric.
It is.
And I like that. The polka dot in our number 3 gives us lots of extra playfulness, and it's that nice wide border that frames it beautifully. Now the kit information on this one, it's called Pumpkin Lane.
Now we have something near and dear to my heart, something you would find on a beach.
Which is where your heart pretty much always wants to be.
Yeah, I'm such a water person, and I like the beach, and I like the lake, and I like seashells, and so this is amazing.
And I really like this color.
Oh yes, it's the color of the Caribbean.
Yes, very pretty.
So this is so fun, and it's also one of those sized prints that's going to work well in your half square triangle.
Yes.
So this is our number 1. It's going to go everywhere you see here. And then our number 2 is a lightly textured white with hints of aqua to complement that number 1 and the number 3.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great. And so that's going to go everywhere you see here. So half of your half square triangle will be this great number 2 along with that number 1. And then, you know what? We've been telling you, number 1 is not the best place to put a directional fabric. But, stripes are directional. And what we have is some seaweed that is a type of directional fabric that's going to look like a stripe when you put it in the border. It's going to be so cool.
And there's such a nice big spot to see all of that texture too, which I
Yes.
really, really love.
So it's going to add a lot of texture while still doing its job as being the darkest of the 3 and making that pop. So let's look at an image.
That border has so much extra movement because of this fabric, I think. It just gives it so much interest.
And I love the way that it coordinates or pulls out the color of the aqua from the number 1. You can see that darker color, but it's got that aqua, that lighter aqua there.
Really, really nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Wow. And the number 2 has that great texture too. So there is not one boring fabric in this whole quilt.
Oh, absolutely not. But I've never met a boring fabric.
Oh,
have
no.
you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Ours are never boring.
Well, this quilt kit is called Tranquil Tides. Oh, I like it. It's very romantic. Now, you need to remember, if you need a quilt that goes together fast without a lot of thinking, this pattern's for you.
And the pattern is available for free for a limited time only. So don't forget that. And go check out our free goodies tab and download it now.
And if you'd like more examples on how to change up your fabrics in your quilt, then be sure to watch the video that pops up.
Happy quilting!